Welcome to another edition of Kosher Caffeine. Turbocharging your soul right now, right here, during the holiday of Passover, as we prepare for the last 2 days of the holiday. What is the purpose that God places all these stumbling blocks, hardships, obstacles, and difficulties in our way? The same question is, why did God subject the Jewish people to thousands of years of exile, of hardships, of pressure against fulfilling what we're here in this world to fulfill? Well, to answer that question, let me share with you a story from Rabbi Shalom Dov Ber, one of the Lubavitcher Rebbes. He was with his son, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak, and he was telling him to imagine the splitting of the Red Sea taking place just 5 kilometers away from where we are. Certainly we would be drawn to that event. We would want to very much take advantage and be part of this miraculous, world-shattering event. Rabbi Shalom Dov Ber says to his son, but we don't even have to travel 5 kilometers away. These days, when we celebrate the splitting of the Red Sea, we need to only elevate ourselves spiritually a couple of inches, make ourselves just a teeny little bit more holy or closer to God. And in our own lives, we can experience the going through of the Red Sea. Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak, he says to his father, but Dad, we are blind, we are deaf, we don't see, we don't hear. Rabbi Shalom Dov Ber answered to his son and says, because you don't see and you don't hear the opportunity, that doesn't for a moment take away from the reality of that possibility. These last 2 days of Passover, we relive and we remember the opportunity and the possibility that even when we're standing before what seems an impossible impasse, by moving on in faith and in great trust in God's mission and in God's command, we can have the greatest sea split before us. In Chassidus it explains that the Gullus, the exile, the persecutions and the hardships that the Jewish people are subject to for the last thousands of years is compared to a dam of stones that is standing in the way of the flow of water. Now when you look at the dam of stones, it seems to be holding back that flow, seems to be something negative. However, as time passes, the pressure in the water builds up, the energy builds up to such a point that it is able to break through the dam, only because it was being held back, and only because of the resistance was that level of energy able to be built up to that point. And when that energy is built up to such an intense level, there are even two different degrees. There is the degree in which the water is able to break through the dam and leave all the stones to the side. Then there is another enormous amount of energy that is generated that takes the dam, the stones, and everything that was standing in the way with the water as it continues down the stream. Chassidus explains that the dam of water is a comparison to the exile, to the hardships that all of us are facing. The difficulties in being able to keep kosher, the different types of pressures against marrying within the faith, or keeping the Shabbat, giving charity the way we're supposed to. All these difficulties, obstacles, hardships that stand in the way of us progressing through the Red Sea to the mountain of Sinai to receive the Torah, it's like that dam of water. But the purpose, Chassidus explains, is so that it should awaken within us those dormant strengths that are within the infinite spark of God within our soul. It is only because of the dam, the pressure, is able to be built up in order to strengthen ourselves in a deeper appreciation in many, many different facets and many different areas of our life. Only because of the hardships, only because of the exile, are we able to appreciate and view each other and our role here in this world in a brand new type of way. And in fulfilling this purpose behind the obstacles and the hardships, there are 2 different levels. There was one level where we will break through the hardships and the difficulties. Notwithstanding the obstacles, we will be able to continue further on by pushing it aside and becoming stronger as a result. Or we build up such an enormous amount of inner pressure and inner strength that we take the hardships and the experience of the difficulties with us as we continue on our successful journey. Chassidus explains these are the 2 different steps when the Jewish people came out of Egypt, and the ultimate redemption, which is the goal, the ultimate goal for God putting us here in the world. The first step when the Jews came out of Egypt after 210 years of slavery accomplished that they were able to break through this dam of water. They were able to go through the Red Sea in such a way that the stones, they were no more obstacles. They remained at their side, and they were able to continue through in the wilderness to receive the Torah. But very, very soon in this generation, when Mashiach comes, the ultimate redemption, when God will shower the world with infinite blessings, at that time, all the hardships and the difficulties will transform and turn themselves into blessings. As the prophet says, I will admit to you, God, I will acknowledge, and I will thank you for the times that you were angry with me. So the next time you are faced with a hardship and a difficulty, remind yourself, strengthen yourself in the trust and in the faith in God, that if He put you in front of that hardship and that difficulty, it can't be real. It cannot be real, the hardship and the difficulty. Because if God said to move on forward, He's giving you that strength to be able to continue on. The hardship and the difficulty is only a mirage. It's only there to test your faith. It's only there to bring out dormant and deeper strength that are there within your infinite, powerful soul. Through the observance of these last 2 days of Passover, by eating the Shmura hand-baked matzah, by going to the synagogue, by drinking the Kiddush, by eating what we're supposed to in the holiday meals, by observing of the last moments of this holiday, the Mashiach meal, that is how we give ourselves the strength to be able to fulfill the ultimate redemption in our own lives. So until next time, we have a view of another Kosher Caffeine. Hopefully that will be in Jerusalem with Mashiach speedily in our times.